Hey you, and welcome to our second lesson. Today we are going to do a very quick review on the present tense, present simple, and then we'll talk about the present continuous. We'll also discuss have got and have, and what are the differences between them, and we will talk about expressing interest and conversing, and how to keep the conversation going when you're speaking in English. So that will be today's lesson. Enjoy, and let's get to it. Today we are gonna just do a quick review on the present simple which we have discussed in lesson 1. So as mentioned, we use a present simple when we talk about habits or facts or truths or things that happen on long term. Okay? When we have he, she, it with the present simple, we always add s to the verb that follows. When we have are, you, we, they, or any plural nouns, we don't need to add the s. Okay. For a few verbs, third person singular ends in es. So in some cases, we must add an e before the s. When are those cases are applicable is when the word ends with o, ch, sh, th, ss, gh, or z. Okay, so if the last letter in the word ends with any of these, that means we must add an e before we put the s. Let's take a look here at a quick chart. I live, I don't live, do I live? You live, you don't live. Do you live? He lives, he doesn't live, does he live? And so on. Okay, so, whoops, sorry. This is just a quick review. Now, let's talk about today's tense, which is the present continuous. Now, we use the present continuous to talk about something that is happening right now at this moment. You all know that, right? So activities at the moment of speaking. For example, I'm just leaving work, I'll be home in an hour. Or, please be quiet, the children are sleeping. Please be quiet, the children are sleeping. It means at this moment they're sleeping. Present continuous is made from the present tense, verb be, and the ing form. As we said, if we have a verb to be in the sentence, is, am, or are, or even in the past, was and were, we always add ing to the verb. So the verb that follows any be verb has to end with ing, whether it's in the present or if it's in the past. So if it's in the present, it will form the present continuous. If it's in the past, then it will form the past continuous, which we will talk about later on in this course. So the construction of the sentence will be the subject plus verb to be plus the verb plus ing. I am working, he is working, they are working, okay? We also use the present continuous from form in different expressions, like, okay, so we talked about the first use, which is activities that happen at the moment. Now we'll talk about the second use of the present continuous, which is future plans or arrangements. What does that mean? We use the present continuous when we talk about something we are going to do in the future and it's confirmed. We already made the arrangement and you know that you are going to do this in the future or near future, so you always use the present continuous. Let's take a look at some examples. Mary is going to a new school next term or semester okay, so term in British English is term, in American English is semester. So you can say here, Mary is going to a new school next term. Mary is going to. She's not going to right now at this moment. So this action is not happening at the moment of speaking. This action is going to happen in the near future. What are you doing next week? What are you doing next week? This is a question form, but we use the present continuous because we are asking someone about their plan or about their future arrangement for next week. Present continuous question. We make the present continuous questions by putting am, is, or are in front of the subject. So basically, we reverse the order. So instead of be subject plus verb to be, it will be verb to be plus subject if we are making an auxiliary question. Because remember, is, am, are auxiliaries. They're all called the be auxiliary. So if we form a question using is, am, are at the beginning, that will make it an auxiliary question. That will mean it is a yes or no question, because auxiliary questions are always yes and no questions. If you want more information, then we will add a question word, which is why, who, which, where, when. Then it will be a full question. So if we add a question word, it will come before the auxiliary. So the structure will be question word, auxiliary, subject, verb. Okay? If we don't want to add a question word and just make it auxiliary question, then same structure, we'll just remove the question word and we will keep the auxiliary, the subject, and the verb. Okay, let's take a look. Are you listening? Are you listening? Okay, verb to be, subject, verb, ing. Are they coming? All right, now let's see if we add a question word. Same thing, we'll just add the question word before the auxiliary, which is. So it will be, when is she going home? When is she going home? Now, notice, are you listening? The answer to this question will be yes, I'm listening, or no, I'm not listening. That makes it a yes or no question. Take a look at the second question. Are they coming to your party? Again, the answer here will be yes, they are, or no, they aren't. Yes and no question. But for question number 3, are they? When is she going home? When is she going home? Now, this is a proper question. We want information. We want to know what time she's going home. So the answer here will be she's going home next week. She is going home at 9 o'clock. You know, because this is a proper question. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? I'm teaching you English. Is she cooking? Is she cooking? Again, here it's a yes or no question. Yes, she's cooking. No, she's not cooking. Are you going shopping? Are they sleeping? Am I dreaming? All right. Now let's take a look at present continuous with the negatives. So present continuous with the negative, we just put not after the auxiliary, which is, am, are. We'll just put not. Let's take a look. I am not eating that. I am not eating that. So I'm eating that. I'm not eating that. You aren't listening. You are listening. So we just add the not after the auxiliary. We contract are not by saying aren't. We contract is not. We make it shorter by saying isn't, or, well, am not stays am not. We can just make I am, put it as am, but the not cannot be merged into the am. So it will be am not or I am not. There is no amn't, no such thing. So, you aren't listening, they aren't coming to the party, she isn't going home until Monday. So those are basically answers to the questions in the first slide. All right, so when not to use the present continuous tense, okay, when not to use. We don't use the present continuous tense with stative verbs. Now, what are stative verbs? We covered stative verbs in the previous course, but here is a quick reminder. Stative verbs, our verbs are different than action verbs. Action verbs can come in ing form, but stative verbs don't normally come in ing form. They come with just the base form. Stative verbs are normally verbs to talk about feelings, emotions, likes and dislikes, and so on. All right, so verbs of thinking and feelings, those are the most popular stative verbs, like believe, dislike, know, like, love, hate, prefer, realize, recognize, remember, suppose, think, believe, understand, want, wish. Those are all related. Those are all stative verbs that are related to thinking and feelings. We don't use them in the ing form. Now, verbs of the senses, okay? Those are also stated verbs, like appear, feel, look, seem, smell, sound, taste. Okay, you don't say, this is tasting good. You just say, this tastes good, right? If you say, the flower smells amazing, we don't say the flower is smelling amazing. So senses verbs are stative verbs, which means normally they don't come in the ing form. That doesn't mean that they never come. Sometimes they do, but normally they don't, okay? So we will talk about some exceptions later on. Other verbs: agree, be, belong, disagree, need, owe, own, possess. Those are also stative verbs. Okay, so now let's talk about have got and have. Both mean the exact same thing. You can say, I have a sister, or I've got a sister. I have a car, or I've got a car. They both mean the same thing. Have got is used more in British English. Have is used more in American English. Now, they are exactly the same. They don't change the meaning of the sentence, and you can just remove one and replace it with the other without any changes. Like you can see here, I've got a terrible headache. I've got a terrible pain in my back. I have a terrible pain in my back. Exact same thing. Now, they do change in case of negatives and questions, okay? They haven't got a car, they don't have a car. So in case of the negative, having got will become don't have. And in case of the question, have you got a drill will become do you have a drill? Okay? So pay attention to these two. Have got and have are exact same thing, same meaning, same use. One can replace the other without a problem. But if it was in the negative form, then haven't got will become don't have. Okay? In case of the questions, have you got, for example, have you got, or you can replace you with any other pronoun. Have you got, have they got, or if you use he, she, it, then have will become has. So it will be has he got. Okay, don't forget this. Have and has will change depending on the pronoun that follows. So in case of the questions, have will become do. Do you have? Okay, so have you got will become do you have. Has he got will become does he have. Has he got will become, there is no space here. Does he have? All right. Again, we added the es here because we have he. And why did we add the e? Remember, we talked about this. If the word ends with an o, among other letters, if it ends with an o, then we always add the e to the end. Okay, so have you got a drill? Do you have a drill? How many brothers have you got, or how many brothers do you have? Let's take a look at this. Positive, have, we have subject plus have or has, depending on the pronoun that follows, or depending on the subject. So if the subject is a single noun, then we will use has. If the subject is are, you, we, they, or a plural noun, we will use have. In case of have got, let me change this to this. In case of have got, s plus have got, or s plus has got, depending on the s. S here is short for subject. So if the subject is are, you, we, they, we will say have got. If the subject is he, she, it, or a single noun or a name, we will say has got. Negative form, s, don't have, or doesn't have, depending on the subject. Negative form, subject, having got, or hasn't got, depending on the subject. Question form, do or does subject have? Do you have, does he have, or in case of having got will be have, has, plus subject, plus got. So have you got or has he got? Okay, so don't get them confused. You can see which one you're more comfortable with and just, use it. For me, the American one is more formal and better and recommended. It's more formal, it's easier to use, and it's better, and even British now are using the American one, which is how. So feel free to use the American one. All right, now verb and phrases. Let's take a look at some verb and put them in phrases. So play a game on my PlayStation. Go out. Go out with my friends. Download music and films. Send emails. Also, you can send text messages. Listen to music. Go out for a meal. Get a takeaway pizza. Do nothing. Shop for clothes online. Have a lie-in. What does that mean? Have a lie-in, it means just, relax, lay down, take a nap. Relax in front of the TV. Meet friends for a drink. Read magazines. Chat to friends online. Go to the gym. Watch a football match live on TV. So these are just verbs and phrases that go together. Making a conversation. Okay, when you are having a conversation, it helps to add a comment, ask questions. Don't just answer yes or no. This is considered rude. Express interest. So these are things to keep in mind when you are making a conversation in English. Okay? First thing, you need to comment. Second thing is ask questions. When you ask questions, people think you're interested or know you're interested because you're asking questions. You want to know details. Don't just answer yes or no. If people ask you a question, don't just say yes or no. That's considered rude and abrupt, and that will just convey the sense that you don't want to talk to the person. So, they'll normally just back off. They will stop talking to you because, you're rude. You don't want to talk to them. Express interest. Like, just use the vocabulary to express interest, like amazing, wow, yeah, that sounds great. Use vocabulary that you've learned and phrases that shows that you're interested in what the other person is saying. All right, so let's take a look at expressing interest. It is very important to show that you are interested in what your partner is saying. Use these expressions to show you are interested. Remember, when we are very interested or surprised, our voice is higher and louder. So we don't be like, oh, interesting. No, that's monotone. That's like a robot. When you are expressing interest, your voice should go up and high. Okay, so like, oh, wow, interesting. You see? That is how you express interest, not, yes, interesting. That just sounds fake. All right, so let's take a look. Normal responses. It means you acknowledge what the person is saying and you want them to continue. So you go like, That's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Not, oh, I see. You're not a robot. Oh, I see. Right. Right. Not right. No, you go up and high. Right. All right. Stronger responses to show more interest. Really. Not really. Really. See, up and high. The tone changes. Wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. Not, wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, notice? Completely different. Wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. All right. That's incredible. That's incredible. No way. No way. You're joking. You're joking. All right, so those are all phrases we use to express interest, but you have to use them higher and louder. Remember, no monotone. All right, now short answer. Short answer is, as I said, any question that starts with an auxiliary is a yes or no question, and that is a short answer. We do not use yes or no only to answer the question. That's considered rude. Like, do you like swimming? Yes. Do you enjoy going to the beach? Yes. Do you go to the gym? Yes. See, if you're having a conversation with somebody and they're just giving you like yes and no short answer, definitely you're going to stop talking to them because you know they're showing no interest in talking to you, so you're just going to back off and leave them alone. So if you want to continue a conversation and sound more polite and less rude, it is important that we give fuller answers. Like, for example, is he from London? Yes, he is. Or no, he is not. And we can add more information to express, to show that, you know, we want to continue this conversation. Like, for example, is he from London? No, he's not. He's from Amsterdam. Are the boys at your school? Are the boys at your school? Yes, they are. Or no, they aren't. You don't just say yes or no. Can you play ice hockey? Yes, I can. Or no, I can't. Have we got ketchup? Yes, we have. Or no, we haven't. Has she got a mobile phone? Has she got a mobile phone? Yes, she has. No, she doesn't. Or no, she hasn't. All right. Do they live in a flat? Yes, they do. Or no, they don't. Remember, you can always add more information, which sounds more natural and better, and it will keep the conversation going. Like, do they live in a flat? No, they don't live in a flat. They live in a house. They have a big house. You know, things to keep the conversation going. So this will do it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed. Don't skip the quiz, and I'll see you next class. Have a good one.